Like, you lost, you should hang him up. It's like, is it just the most violent motherfucker? I just fought the most violent motherfucker right there. I think he broke my goddamn finger. Maybe I just don't fight the most violent. Maybe I just fight the second most violent. He was like, maybe I'm done. I'm retired. Here's my glove in the cage. You should have just not fought the most violent nigga out there alive, and you would have been okay. I'll come back for Nate Diaz. I'm like, did he just cry in the cage?
Welcome back, fight fans, to the absolute epicenter of combat sports. Today, we are breaking down a psychological warfare masterpiece that has completely set the MMA world on fire. Two of the most iconic, savage rivals in the history of the game have reignited a blood feud that spans a decade, proving that some animosities never die, they just wait for the perfect moment to explode. Today, we are breaking down a shocking, chaotic incident that nobody saw coming. Nate Diaz attacks Conor McGregor after he disrespected him. This isn't just a minor disagreement or a standard Twitter back and forth. This is a full-blown escalation that has crossed the line from professional rivalry into a deeply personal, chaotic confrontation that threatens to reshape everything we know about these two icons. The sheer importance of this clash cannot be overstated, as these two legends carry the kind of star power that halts the entire sports world in its tracks. Whenever their names are mentioned in the same breath, history is made, and this latest chapter is nothing short of historic. You absolutely cannot afford to miss a single second of this breakdown, so brace yourselves, lock in, and stay with us until the very end to witness the full chaotic details of this shocking collision. The date was May 17th, 2026, and the combat sports landscape experienced a simultaneous double shot of absolute madness. Over in the UFC, Dana White dropped a literal thunderclap of an announcement, confirming that the sport's biggest megastar, Conor the Notorious McGregor, is officially making his long-awaited return to the octagon. He is locked in to headline UFC 329 on July 11th in Las Vegas, moving up to welterweight to face none other than Max Blessed Holloway. But while the world was digesting the news of McGregor's first fight since his devastating leg break in 2021, a brutal, blood-soaked drama was unfolding on Netflix. At the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, the legendary Nate Diaz made a grueling return to MMA after nearly 4 years away. Standing across from him at the historic MVP MMA event was the relentless king of violence himself, Mike Perry, in a highly anticipated co-main event underneath the Ronda Rousey vs. Gina Carano comeback card.
How did you feel physically overall from the opening bell?
I felt alright. I didn't actually feel good at all. I felt like shit. I just started back and I just got back to MMA and they were asking me how to be. I'm like, I never was gone, but then as I got closer, I realized that MMA is hard work. It's a lot of work, and I feel like I just started to callus everything up. You know, my body started to get hard, my legs started to get harder, everything started to move right together. It all started to fall into rhythm, and then it was time to fight. So the way it goes with this shit too, and it's like, and now I'm ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? But that was kind of like a kickoff, like, here we go. I wish I wouldn't have got banged up and took a fucking loss for the night or for the start of it. But I'm ready to get in action now. The show goes on.
What followed was an absolute horror movie for the Stockton native. Perry's devastating, bare-knuckle sharpened elbows sliced Diaz open early, turning the canvas into a literal crimson crime scene. Blinded by cascading rivers of blood pouring directly into his eyes, a defiant 41-year-old Diaz was pulled from the war before the third round when his corner threw in the towel. It was a heartbreaking, brutal TKO loss, and it provided the exact narrative opening Conor McGregor had been waiting half a decade to exploit. McGregor's remarks were calculated, sharp, and designed to sting, mocking Diaz's recent ventures and claiming that their legendary past battles were nothing more than a fluke. For a man like Conor, who thrives on psychological warfare, this was another attempt to assert dominance and control the narrative. But he forgot one crucial rule in the fight game. You never, under any circumstances, disrespect a Diaz brother and expect to walk away cleanly. The disrespect spread like wildfire across the internet, generating millions of views and drawing battle lines among fans worldwide. The MMA community waited with bated breath, knowing that Nate Diaz is a man who speaks bluntly and reacts even harder.
media and put my glove down in the ring. Cry babies. I forgot the question, but I should have fucked that for a while. Sorry about that.
Diaz has never been one to sit back, file a complaint, or let corporate PR handle his business. He handles his business on the streets or in the cage. With Diaz at his absolute lowest, stitched up and bleeding, McGregor grabbed his phone and launched a calculated, highly disrespectful missile on X. The tweet was short, toxic, and loaded with psychological poison. I see why Nate Diaz 209 didn't take the fight, LOL. Anyway, here's to when I get my hands on you, you lanky streak of piss. Trilogy, and I gonna need my money. So strap yourselves in, fight fans, because we are diving deep into the hidden motives, the secret history, and the absolute chaos behind this brutal call-out. Stay with us until the very end to see how this ugly situation changes everything. To understand why McGregor's words stung so badly, you have to realize that he was actively trying to rewrite history in under 280 characters. By calling Diaz a lanky streak of piss and mocking his loss, McGregor framed the narrative to make it look like Diaz had ducked their trilogy fight out of sheer fear. He wanted the world to believe that the iconic Stockton Warrior was nothing more than washed up, damaged goods who could no longer hang at the elite level. But wait, there is a massive twist to this story, and it completely shatters McGregor's version of events. Before Diaz ever stepped into the cage against Mike Perry, he sat down with Ariel Helwani and revealed the real reason he wasn't fighting the Irishman. It wasn't fear, it was pure, unadulterated street principle. The UFC actively tried to book Diaz as the launchpad for McGregor's comeback, but Nate bluntly rejected it, stating, "I know the UFC wanted the Conor fight right now, and I'm not trying to be a comeback story for Conor." Diaz fiercely refused to be a corporate prop or a warm-up fight for a superstar coming off a 5-year layoff. He wanted McGregor to prove himself against someone else first, ensuring that when their legendary trilogy finally happened, it would be a clash of active, winning titans. To make matters more chaotic, Diaz had actually tried to book a UFC return against the BMF champion Charles Oliveira, but Oliveira turned him down, only to immediately turn around and call out a diminished McGregor for an easy payday, a move Diaz fiercely criticized as devaluing the sport. Operating on the strict Stockton code passed down by his brother Nick, Diaz chose the harder, uglier path. Instead of chasing a compromised McGregor, he actively sought out a dangerous, active animal in Mike Perry under the MVP banner because he wanted to fight real fighters. Tragically, that warrior mentality is exactly what backfired on him at the Intuit Dome, leaving him bloody, battered, and wide open for McGregor's surgical social media strike. Make no mistake about it, McGregor's tweet was a brilliant cutthroat business play. By tying his UFC 329 Holloway announcement to Diaz's brutal loss, the Irishman successfully hijacked the narrative from a position of ultimate strength.
A street fight. Oh my goodness. So, I've got to give both guys their due. Both guys did what they were supposed to do. Both guys did what we expected them to do. Both guys did what they are known to do and what they were paid to do. Fighting somebody like Nate, everybody that fights Nate gets pulled into the same stigma, which is reputation. And reputation around the Diaz boys is cardio, is longer the better.
He's telling the world that while he is headlining global pay-per-views in the UFC, his greatest rival is getting carved up on streaming platforms. It's a masterful attempt to build a secondary storyline for a massive record-breaking trilogy fight before his own return card even starts. But if McGregor expected Nate Diaz to crumble, cry foul, or hide from the media, he clearly forgot who the man from Stockton is. Standing before the press with a face held together by fresh stitches, Diaz reacted to the McGregor vs. Holloway announcement with an almost chilling calmness, displaying the raw, unfiltered authenticity that has made him a global folk hero. Diaz completely ignored the insult, calmly analyzed the matchup, and simply stated that the rematch was a good fight that should have happened a long time ago. Even in the wake of a devastating TKO defeat, Diaz remained completely unbroken, immediately using his post-fight interview to demand a rematch with Mike Perry, revealing he broke his finger in the opening seconds. His message to the world was loud and clear. Come on, ain't nobody beating me twice. It's this exact bulletproof resilience that keeps the flickering flame of the McGregor-Diaz trilogy alive, even when the critics claim it's on absolute life support. In conclusion, when you look at the grand scheme of things, this ugly exchange exposes a beautiful, cinematic truth about combat sports. At 37 and 41 years old respectively, both Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz are locked in a gravitational pull they can never truly escape. McGregor has knocked out Jose Aldo, dismantled Eddie Alvarez, and closed chapters with Dustin Poirier, but Diaz remains the one permanent ghost in his machine, the ultimate one-to-one score that has never been settled. The chess pieces are now set for the most dramatic summer in MMA history. If McGregor can successfully conquer the ferocious challenge of Max Holloway at UFC 329 on July 11th, and if Diaz can run it back and avenge his loss to Mike Perry, the collective scream for a trilogy fight will reach a fever pitch that no promoter or broadcast algorithm on earth can ignore. They need each other, the fans need it, and the sport demands closure. This isn't about belts, rankings, or corporate gold. This is a decades-long blood feud between two men who refuse to let each other go. Now, I have to ask the realest fight fans in the world, do you think Conor McGregor is going to get his hands on the Stockton legend after the Holloway fight? Or did Nate Diaz's loss to Perry permanently kill the trilogy? Sound off with your wildest predictions in the comments below. Smash that like button, subscribe for more explosive updates, and we'll see you at the next war.